Improvisation. We like improvisation because it's more spontaneous, more on the fly, as we're creating scenes and playing games that tap into everybody's creativity.
This was just what we needed. It was fun, it was interesting, we all learned a lot, and we just walked away energized and ready to go for the day.
If we don't strive for moments of greatness sometimes, accepting the failures that are bound to come with it, when will we achieve moments of brilliance?
Dennis, you're going to say a line in gibberish, and Isabel, you're going to translate the poem for us into English. The poem is called Having a Baby.
My wife was 20 pounds overweight.
If we risk looking foolish when we do take chances,
And her attitude was going downhill.
but taking chances
The doctor said it was the hormones.
is our access to opportunity.
But the problem started way before then.
Here's the big question. What is so terrible about looking foolish? Sometimes, for a moment, maybe on purpose. Galileo, Columbus, Gandhi, the Wright brothers, Milton Berle, Lucille Ball, Lady Gaga. Each one did something that no one before them had done, and each one in their own way made a difference and changed the lives of others for the risk of looking foolish at times.
I didn't think we learned so much just playing games.
We gotta fail to succeed. When Thomas Edison was inventing the light bulb, he went through over 1,000 iterations that did not work before he finally got one to glow, because he knew he'd have to fail to succeed. But we all know people who aren't comfortable with that concept, who can make a big deal out of a problem, and they focus on the problem, and whatever's going right, it doesn't matter, because all they know is the problem. Any of you know people like that? I'm seeing some nodding. Any of you maybe know that it's you? We had someone in my family who was very much like that. We had a nickname for him. We called him Dad. He loves a game called paddleball. If he had a bad game Saturday morning, you could feel the tension Saturday night at dinner. He moved past anything he could learn about how did I improve from last time? What am I doing differently? What did my opponent do that I wasn't doing to get to the next step? Because he would focus on the fact that he failed. And when we focus on failure itself, we don't leave room for new possibilities with the new energy we could put there. Improvisation teaches us tools that we can't learn in other places in life. It teaches us to build on the ideas of others, because unlike stand-up comedy, improvisation is about playing off other people. It teaches us to pay attention more carefully, because we're counting on our teammates to remember the things that have been said. It teaches us to respond more quickly and comfortably. When things change, we learn to adapt. When you learn to do that here, the smaller changes in real life get easier. And it teaches us the 5 C's of teamwork: creativity, cooperation, communication, community, and commitment. And through those, improv teaches us how to bring them into the rest of our lives.
You are going to try not to say any words that have the letter M in them. So you wouldn't want to say meet, or manager, or tomorrow, because that has an M in it. Oh yeah, middles count. If you accidentally say a word that has an M in it, count it. Count how many times you accidentally do while trying not to. If your partner says a word that has the letter M in it and she didn't notice it, you get to go like this. Give it a shot.
Most people have caught either a live improv show or they've seen the TV show, Whose Line Is It Anyway? So what I hear from people when they watch that is, oh my goodness, whose line is it anyway? I've watched that. Those people are so creative. I could never be that creative. Well, I'm going to let you in on a couple of secrets. One is, the main thing those guys are good at isn't their creativity, it's their bravery. They throw everything out there. They're willing to take those huge chances. It's not all about the creativity. It's about 25% of the equation. That's not all that much. So let's look at the other 3/4. Another 25% is in the listening. Can you pay attention to the people around you so they can count on you?
What I came to realize was, once I was out on my own, my listening skills had to be better than ever. I had to be listening to my customers. I had to be listening to my employees. And I had to be listening to all those people who knew better how to run my business. And so when they contacted me and said, we want something interactive, something that'll help them a little bit get going with the day,
They said, hey, let's call the improv guy. I went through all the exercises I did, and Keith said, they all sound good, but do you have one that focuses specifically, that's gonna bring them right in on listening skills? I said, we could play Simon Says. He said, Simon Says! The idea is to see if you think you're a good listener, can you? And where do your expectations of what you think you're gonna hear get in the way of what you actually hear? Simon says, hands on your head. Easy enough. Simon says, hands on your shoulders. Hands at your hips. See, okay. So if you just put your hands on your hips, sit down. Simon says, hands on your head. Simon says, hands on your shoulders, and back to your head. Got you that time. Have a seat. It looks like we have about 20 people left, so I think it's enough that we can get them on the stage. What do you think? Bring them on down to the stage. Yeah, the people who started coming to the stage, you can sit down. Okay. Simon says, one step back this way. And look them in the eye. Ah, you look. Simon says, hands up to the side. Simon says, hands on your hips. Ah. And where are you from, Michael?
Baltimore.
Oh, but I didn't say Simon Says. Simon says, hands on your head. And we wiped out everybody but you. We have a winner. Another 25%. Cooperation. Can you give up your idea to build up on the idea of somebody else's, even if you know your idea was way better? It was so much better. But the other one is the one the audience heard. That's the reality now. That's what we have to build on. There was an audition I saw once where two actors had to move around the stage until the director said, freeze. And in that position, they had to start a scene. So one looked like this, and one looked like this. And the one back here said, while you're up on that chair, could you get me that can of peas? Not brilliantly funny, but it made sense given what he was doing. And the one over here said, get you a can of peas? How could I do that? I'm a statue. Why? Why are you a statue? He just asked you for peas. Now you've made his job very difficult. How about instead just say something like, well, okay, you can have this can, but you know what they do to your stomach. I don't know what they do to his stomach. It could be anything. He could get sick, he could burst into flames, he could have magic powers. Anything could happen from there, but not if you're a statue. You gotta build upon the ideas of the other person. Cooperation. And finally, commitment. The average improv scene is 4.5 minutes long. And sometimes, about a minute into it, nothing funny has happened yet. But instead of getting down, you just keep going. And then something happens, and you say something, and he builds on it, and you add to it, and I come in and bring you something. And all of a sudden, it's the best scene of the night, and it looks like that first minute was just there to set up the rest of it. You gotta commit to it.
You're going to give a presentation to everybody about hard work. Only you're going to collaborate in order to do that. You see, you represent the voice department. So you're going to get to give the presentation using your mouth. Milo is going to represent the body language department. So he's going to do your hands. Okay, so you can put your hands behind your back and use Milo hands. Okay, so why don't you begin telling us about hard work? Hard work is very important. It's a trait that is inbred into everybody in the United States because of our heritage. And without hard work, we might as well all go home. Peace be with you. Do a good job. At the same time, we need to know where we're going. Carol needs to be there too.
If you're willing to listen and cooperate and commit, that's 75% that you guys already have. And that last 25%, the creativity, that's what I'm good at bringing out in other people. Nobody asked me, by the way, what the goal of the game was. The goal of the game is to be the person who pushed themselves so hard that you made more mistakes than anybody else. So you just want a prize, come up to the stage. When we're doing improv work, a lot of it is about Can we build on the last thing that just happened? Just like at the office. Sometimes you got to go with what's going on now. You can't say, but this isn't how I planned it. Sometimes that's how it is.